We'll move on to the next section of the agenda. Item 5 is reports, and beginning with...
yes, I'm sorry.
And we always start with recognition of staff and students.
I have a pen in my hand. That's not relevant. What's relevant is that prom is this weekend, and we have 2 updates for you, one on pre-prom and one on post-prom. And Officer Marshall is here to talk about pre-prom.
All right, this year for prom, I was approached last fall by a student from the drama club, expressed some interest in maybe doing a mock crash scenario. And she has connections through her family, and they've all contacted me. So we are planning on having a mock crash during lunch on Friday in the high school parking lot. We're having combined lunches so all the students can observe. And I have the Toma Area Ambulance Service, Warren's First Responders, and Fire Department, and Oakdale First Responders are all assisting and arranging all of that. And lastly, I think I just need to let people know that, first of all, that that's going to be happening, but also the parking lot will have limited access that day.
And so that we will have a message going home to parents later this week. We wanted you to know first before that message goes out, so that will assist you in fielding any questions. But letting them know that we are going to do the mock crash on Friday, that it is combined lunch, and that there will be limited to no access in and out of the parking lot during that time. So it's going to feel a lot like a closed campus that day, because kids who park in our parking lot really aren't going to be able to get out at that point in time, as all of the equipment is going to be coming in. We've worked with Mr. Bender. He's ready with our school lunch program, and the drama kids I know are very excited about this event, and we think it's going to be something that hopefully sticks in the memory of all of the kids who are there to see it and participate.
So I just want to add, if you hear anything about concerns about all the fire trucks and all the rescue equipment in the parking lot on Friday between 11 and 12, that is what's going on.
Why don't you repeat that for the general public? Get the camera.
So just a reminder that on Friday between 11 and 12 in the high school parking lot, if there's any concerns about the emergency response vehicles, that is all pre-planned as part of our mock scenario. There is no real emergency that we expect at that time.
Is there any way to really get this publicized in light of what's happened today in Boston? I worry a little bit about people.
I can get with Jordan from the newspaper. I did talk with her beforehand. We had talked about doing an article to recognize some of those people that are helping put this on, but then we decided to wait until afterwards. But I can ask her to just put a quick blurb in there for Thursday's paper, just in case. I was planning on having Paul put it on the website, and then the police department putting it on their Facebook page as well. And then a staff email to all the staff prior to that, as within the school district as well.
Calling the radio stations might be a good thing too.
Okay.
Channel 8 will be there, or they
were invited
to be there. So hopefully they're still there. But point well taken. In light of today, we'll try and get the word out as many extra avenues as possible. So that's pre-prom. Prom then is on Saturday at the actual event. The Grand March is at the high school, followed by the dance down at the TP. Officer Marshall will be at all of those events as well. And then after prom is post-prom, and that's what Mr. Symington is here to talk about.
All right, so this year we're taking over the lock-in event that was run previously by the Boys and Girls Club the last couple of years. And for this event, we'll be at the Ho Chunk Cinemas. We were able to get a lot of donations from local companies, local businesses. Timberwood Bank, Best Buy was able to give us some really good deals on some door prizes, a television, I gotta remember, a PS Vita, and something else really cool. But we're trying to really publicize the word and get a lot of kids to show up and come and join us and make some good choices on prom night. 2 years ago, there were 150 students that attended. Last year was 100. This is the first year that the school is actually really, running it and trying to get the word out. So we're hoping to get around 150 students. The event's going to be from 11:30 when prom ends till 6 a.m. in the morning. We'll be watching movies and having food from local restaurants that are providing food: Pizza Hut, McDonald's, Subway. So we've been really getting a lot of good donations from the public. So that's what we've been working on.
Thank you.
So the goal from both of those and our overriding message is we want kids to make positive choices this weekend, and good decisions lead to good outcomes.
I was asked a question today about prom. Why is the Grand March in one place and prom in another place?
The students last year were the ones that first requested it during my time to host the dance off campus. They still wanted to have the Grand March at a place that was accessible to parents because of the huge crowd that tends to come to watch the Grand March. And so that's where that came out of, was to host the Grand March at the high school so that we could accommodate a crowd of spectators and everybody can get their pictures, and then the dance off site where the junior class officers scoped out and requested. Does that give you enough? Okay.
It's a size.
Yep.
Is the reason.
Yeah, we simply can't fit all of the spectators that we would want to be able to accommodate at the teepee or even last year at Three Bears.
Okay.
And Mr. Hay, is the Grand March in the auditorium?
Yes, Grand March is in
Kids
there.
get to go up on stage,
Yep.
so they really can show.
And the feedback last year from the spectators was they had a much better ability to get the pictures that they wanted the first time. So that's the plan again this year. All right.
Well, to all of you, thank you for all the thought that's gone into this to make it fun, successful, but most importantly safe. And so I'm glad we're just not sort of leaving it as an afterthought or letting people sort of do whatever they want to do. It's nice that you're putting thought ahead of it. And I think that is probably a way to minimize any of the negative things that sometimes go along with these. So thanks for all the thought.
We have Mrs. Best is here to talk a little bit about the forensics program, and one of our forensics students is here to share her piece with us. She's going to state, or went to state?
They will on
They
Friday.
go to state on Friday. So.
I'm Cindy Best, and I co-coach forensics with Rocky Shutter. Anyway, last year we had 3 members that went on to state, and this year we have 10, which is really great improvement. But anyway, they go on Friday afternoon to the UW-Madison campus, and that's where they'll compete. Laura has a really interesting piece, and it's in the category of Farrago, where it's a theme that has to have at least 3 different sources. It could be drama, poetry, an article. I can't even think of the other ones. But anyway, these materials provide insight onto human values, relationships for a certain subject. Laura's piece is really a powerful piece, and it's a piece that's really near and dear to her heart. And I'll let her explain it.
There are over 5 million children in the U.S. alone receiving special education services. To put this into perspective, this is roughly the number of people living in Wisconsin. Now, these children may have many of the same hopes and dreams other children their age do. Go to college, get a job, get married, maybe even become president of the United States. Unfortunately, for these children, their dreams may have to remain just that, dreams. This is a difficult concept for not only the children, but their families as well. In the following story, entitled What They Forgot to Mention, Sandy Soltzen describes the struggles as well as the triumphs she encounters raising her son with special needs. I remember the day of my son's diagnosis of autism as if it were yesterday. The tone of the doctor's voice, the silence in the room, the words lifelong disability, no cure, I'm sorry, still sting when I allow myself to reflect on that day. But I have paused on occasions too numerous to count and thought, someone should have mentioned this would all have been part of the package when my son was diagnosed with autism. Someone forgot to mention that I would listen to my child's simple utterances or attempted approximations, as if he were the world leader giving the speech of a lifetime. I could never have imagined the worth of a single word, despite the fact that I may never hear it again. Someone forgot to mention that when my son was finally potty trained at age 9, there would be few people who could understand the significance of such an accomplishment, and even fewer with whom I could actually share it with. accomplishments of any size, their true worth known only to me, would bring quiet celebrations between my son and me. Someone should have mentioned that autism is messy. Wallpaper's meant to be shredded, bathrooms are designed to be flooded, walls are bare in order to smear stuff on them, and washable paint really isn't. I wish someone would have mentioned that autism is extremely expensive. Doctors, therapists, medications, supplements, conferences are all only the tip of the iceberg. I could not have guessed that my child's disability would allow so many other people to cross our path in life who otherwise would not have, and that such people would willingly respond to a child in need. And they forgot to mention, the day my son was diagnosed with autism, that the triumphs over this disability would far outweigh the tears, that laughter would eventually ease the sense of loss, and that sheer faith would allow me and millions of other parents to fall into bed, exhausted each night, only to get up the next day eager to discover what else they forgot to mention. The journey of caring for a child with special needs is unique and definitely not what a parent expects. However, if lived to the fullest, it can be a truly wonderful and life-changing trip. In her piece, Welcome to Holland, Emily Pearl Kingsley provides an insightful analogy for this experience. When you're going to have a baby, it's like planning a fabulous vacation trip to Italy. You buy a bunch of guidebooks, you make wonderful plans, the Colosseum, the Michelangelo David, the gondolas of Venice. You may learn some handy phrases in Italian. It's all very exciting. After months of eager anticipation, the day finally arrives. You pack your bags and off you go. Several hours later, the plane lands. The stewardess comes in and says, "Welcome to Holland." Holland, you say? What do you mean Holland? I signed up for Italy. I'm supposed to be in Italy. All my life I've dreamed of going to Italy. But there's been a change in flight plan. They've landed in Holland, and there you must stay. But the important thing is, they haven't taken you to a horrible, disgusting, filthy place full of pestilence, famine, and disease. It's just a different place. So you must go out and buy new guidebooks. You must learn a whole new language, and you will meet a whole new group of people you would not have met otherwise. It's just a different place. It's a little slower paced than Italy, less flashy than Italy. But after you've been there a while, you catch your breath, look around, and you begin to notice Holland has windmills, and Holland has tulips. Holland even has Rembrandts. But everyone you know is busy going and coming from Italy, and they're all bragging about what a wonderful time they've had there. And the rest of your life, you will say, yes, that's where I was supposed to go. That's what I had planned. And the pain of that will never, ever, ever go away. Because the loss of that dream is a very significant loss. But if you spend your life mourning over the fact you didn't get to go to Italy, you may never be free to enjoy the very special, the very lovely things about Holland. Another aspect of special needs children that often isn't considered is the relationship they hold with their siblings. They can undoubtedly enrich the life of their sibling. However, they can also be an enigma in the time when a child is just trying to figure out the world and fit in. In the following article from Columbia Daily Tribune, 13-year-old Abby Wade discusses the struggles she encounters growing up with her special needs brother. You're a waste. Waste of time, waste of money, waste of love, waste of pain, waste of space, waste of tears. This is a poem I wrote a while ago. I'm ashamed to say I wrote it. I'm embarrassed to have written such a thing about my own brother. And yet, I still wrote it. Who am I to say this little kid had any more of a right to life than I do? Who am I to say who should live, who should die? I'm nobody, right? Sometimes it's tiring, frustrating. Mostly, though, it's embarrassing. I don't like parking in the handicapped spot at the mall. or having to deal with the stares when he has a seizure in public. It's embarrassing to have to lug around a giant stroller. It's embarrassing to have a 7-year-old brother who can't walk or talk, whose favorite hobbies are sucking on his thumb and cooing. It's also heartbreaking. I can't play catch with my little brother, listen to him tell me about his interests, or go to his soccer games. I can only sit there and watch his pretty blue eyes stare off into space. I can't know the thoughts behind those eyes, or even know if there are thoughts there at all. It's supposed to be the 3 of us together, my little sister, my little brother, and me. 3 of us, not 2 of us and a baby who will never grow up. A baby who will never see the world the way I can, never go to college, get a job, start a family like I can someday. This, to me, is truly heartbreaking. So why should he live? What's the point? Sometimes he is just pain, misery, embarrassment, and frustration to me. Sometimes I think he's just a shell, a waste. And that's where I have to remind myself that I am wrong. He is just as deserving of air as I am. In a sense, he got gypped. Life ripped him off, but he deserves it just as much as anyone else. He's pure, good. His mind is untarnished by the world. He is not a waste. I'd like to end with a poem my 19-year-old sister wrote for my graduation this upcoming spring. It's not artistic or elegant, and it's a little hard to understand in some spots due to her attempted rhyming, but the overall theme is crystal clear. Laura's graduation poem. How the time does fly, V-I-C-T-O-R-Y, you can do it if you try. I remember you were always in a tree. I remember you getting stung by a bee. You had a fit on the porch in front. When you were little, I thought of you as a runt. In summertime at the Jesse Parker race, you ran the 5K and you got 2nd place. Sometimes I was under attack. You always had my back. As long as you and I are looking up, we will for sure get the cup. Love, your big sister, Libby. Though she frustrates me sometimes, I have learned so much from Libby. She's taught me patience in times when I try to get her to understand something that is beyond her comprehension. She's taught me responsibility when I need to keep an eye out for her in public areas. But most of all, Libby has given me the ability to see past disability.
Thank you very much, Laura. That's beautiful. I'm very happy to hear that our forensics team is becoming very competitive. I was the son of a forensics teacher. And one of the magazines you just gave me, I don't know if you noticed, there was an article on the importance of forensics now. We're concentrating so much on curriculum, but just the ability to communicate will really separate some students from others. And so, to be able to get up and speak like that is a real asset. And thank you for coming and doing that for us.
Also, Mr. McMullen said Tynan is one of our 10 when he sees them friends.
I'm very excited for the team, and my wife's going to the competition, so good luck and thanks for all the work with that, Mrs. Best. Yeah.
Will we have some additional forensic students coming in the upcoming months?
Certainly, if you want one another meeting, that other one would like to.
Yes, be wonderful.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much.
I just wanted to comment too on, I know last month we did congratulate our high school band for their excellent job in New York City for the St. Patrick's Day Parade. And I just wanted to point out to the public that on our district webpage, there is video of the band marching in New York, so we'd encourage people to check that out. And the whole parade is actually online, but if you go to, I think it's about the 17-minute mark, that's where the Toma band is highlighted. And then I've also embedded in these minutes, 2 pictures from our baseball team that headed to the Metrodome. So again, the general public, if they would like to go into the minutes and open up some of the documents, they can see some pictures of the team playing up in Minneapolis. I know they had a wonderful day. They were very grateful to the board for allowing them to go. And they even won, so that made it even better. So they had a great day. So.
All of those links are on the high school's Facebook page as well, the video and the pictures.
Great, thank you. The high school Facebook page can also be accessed.
The students have had some phenomenal experiences. The golf team's going to be going, hopefully at the end of this month, playing that tournament where they have the U.S. Open in the Milwaukee area. So hopefully the weather will be more spring and summer-like for that event. But, to be able to play in those places, it's once-in-a-lifetime kind of opportunities.
And then I know I put in an email to you just the fact that one of our we had our first state gymnastics participant this year. So Julia Robbie, I think it's important to note that she did make it to state in gymnastics, and it's the first Toma gymnast to do so. So we congratulate her also. So we've had some great accomplishments this year.
Yeah, lots of great things going on. It's fun. Anything else then, Mrs. Artie, for the recognition section? That was a lot. That was great.
Yeah.
We ought to have more meetings with that much recognition. I like that.
Great. That should cover it.
Okay. All right. Great.